Everybody, what is up? We are back finally for the bakery. I am your host, Jason, and I'm joined by the best co-hosts in the game. Tribe, how are we today?
I'm good, bro. Need Cowboys to get this onslaught going.
Yeah, I hear that. If you follow us at Paydirt DFS and you're a subscriber over there, you would see how in the Discord all day we're finding every reason to play the Cowboys tonight. So far, if you took that approach in Showdown where you did Cowboys onslaught, it's starting out all right for you. I mean, Philly looks like they're about to score, but honestly, man, it feels good to be back. It feels like just yesterday we were doing week 18 of this, and now we're back for week
Right?
one. It's starting to get a little colder out. Just want to say up front, if you guys haven't checked this out yet, this NFL season, we're going to be doing some really big things. We have our contest simulations. We have our portfolio manager tool, which is really one of a kind. There's nothing really like it else in the industry. And also, as always, we're going to go over our models. We're going to go position by position, and we're going to try to point ourselves in the right direction for this Sunday main slate. And before we get going, Tribe, Jalen Hurts just walked into the end zone, 4-yard rush untouched.
That's unfortunate because I only played him in 2 out of 10 lineups.
The fish, man, they always get there, They
I
always
mean,
find a way
granted,
to
like
get there.
in those two, I have him at captain, so like I'll take that. But
Yeah, I feel you. My 150 today, I took him about 30% of captain, but I did not play any Saquon with him. So
okay, yeah.
I completely faded. So let's hope and see. But all right, let's start at the quarterback position, man. And uh, you know, I know usually we like to go by salary, sometimes we look at projection. Just who interests you at quarterback this week? Who are going to be some of your main targets?
I mean, the models love Jaden Daniels. We saw what his ceiling could be last year, right? As a rookie, they get the Giants, who, that's my team, but we're not gonna front like they're good in any capacity. So like I get it, but you know, so like that stands out to me. I think one that stands out that the they grade out well in the models, but not a standout guy is Baker Mayfield. I like Tampa Bay stacks a lot versus Atlanta. So he's somebody I got my eye on, especially like pricing this week is just stupid.
Yeah, it's
I,
incredibly soft. You would have thought that
yeah.
they would have learned the error of their ways over the last few years, but this is probably the softest it's been in week one.
Oh, one. Yeah. Like Jaden Daniels is the most expensive quarterback at 7K, which is ridiculous. Like Joe Burrow is under 7K, he's 6.9. So, I mean, really, like take your pick at quarterback this week. There are some like clear avoids, but for the most part, like Jaden Daniels is fine. Joe Burrow, you can make an argument for Bo Nix, like that was like our sleeper guy for Paydirt last year. Just him and Cortland Sutton, especially towards the end of last season. Just we're getting it done. Drake May, the models love. I don't. This could just be my New England Patriots bias, where like I just don't think they're good. But he grades out fine. He's cheap. He's like 5.5K. So like, I mean, you don't even need him to really go off like that at that price. Trevor Lawrence is probably a bust at this point, but they are going to let him throw the ball. Natural stacking partner and Brian Thomas Jr., who we're probably going to love all season. Um, yeah, I mean, there's like you can make arguments for a lot of guys, but for me, it's probably Jaden Daniels. I like Bo Nix as a sleeper guy. Uh, Trevor Lawrence is cheap enough. I don't mind stacking him, and then Baker Mayfield.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I'm going to start out by saying, I'll probably have a little bit of Jaden Daniels, but honestly, I know that these are not the most expensive quarterbacks that we'll see this season. Lamar's not on the slate, Josh Allen's not on the slate, and some other heavy hitters, Patrick Mahomes isn't on the slate. But from what I've seen in the past, and this is based upon a lot of the research that I've done over the contest, that paying up at quarterback doesn't really give you an ultimate advantage. It doesn't really equal higher finish rates if by prioritizing salary there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the environments in that which I think I can overstack. Oh, we got a major fight in the Eagles Cowboys game. Helmets off, punches thrown. That's
I
wild.
mean, Dak got spit on like a fight was coming at some point. Like,
It's just, dude, they just threw six flags on
oh,
the.
who's getting ejected?
I don't know. We'll find out. I'll keep us posted.
Hopefully,
Uh,
it was like some linemen and some D backs and not skill position guys, because
it was
that is
definitely on
not
a
what we need.
kickoff. It was definitely on a kickoff.
Oh, thank
So
God.
that
All right.
yeah, it was definitely some special teams guys. But for me this week, man, what I'm really going to focus on is I want high upside game stacks where I think these guys can and their pieces can really all get there. We're seeing the talk of onslaughts really getting there in large field and how they're still underutilized by the field. In smaller field too, in my opinion, game stacking just it leaves there's less you have to get right. So do I think you need to like stack everything to the gills? No, but for me, who's playing just large field this weekend, I'm going to stick with Drake May. Trevor Lawrence, I don't mind. He's just a little chalky. I think he's going to come in closer to like 10 to 15% if I had to guess in large field stuff. Doesn't mean, you can take his pass catchers and get really funky with them, which I'm all for. But you know, still not really one like I'm overly excited about at the ownership. I do like some Brock Purdy, like that game in Seattle. I think it could either go really, really well or it can go really, really bad. Right now, though, it's very concentrated in San Francisco. There's no talk about, there's no real read on Jawan Jennings and what he's going to look like. Maybe we'll get some clarity, but it's really just going to be CMC, Kittle, and Pearsall. And apparently, reports out of San Francisco is that Pearsall has not had a great like last few weeks of camp. So if you're going to give me an ultra condensed San Francisco lineup with stack with those guys, I'm pretty interested. Outside of that, I think I actually might prefer I don't want to say prefer, but I think the Carolina side of that Jacksonville game is also very important. Jacksonville's secondary is going to be absolutely terrible. Bryce Young looked pretty serviceable, about halfway through the year under Dave Canales. He's got upgraded weapons now. That guy Ted McMillan is absolutely sick. It's a cheap stack, and you could add in some really high upside pieces. I don't mind going Chuba with him too, but I'm probably going to live more in that mid range. Like I can't see myself going past Baker, and I do like Baker a lot too. But yeah, it's gonna be Baker, Nix, May, probably Brock Purdy, and then I'll go Bryce Young for me. And maybe I'll flirt with some Lawrence, but I'm not too crazy about his ownership right now.
Yeah, I don't mind Lawrence because I think you can negate that ownership by, overstacking. Like you play him with uh two with his receiver and what's the tight end, Brenton Strange. You run it back with the rookie kid from Carolina. Like I don't think you're gonna see like that combination as chalk. So I think if you play him like you just lean into it, like lean all the way into like that game going off.
I think that makes sense. And also, I like the OC they have from Tampa Bay there. Bretton Strange, when we get to tight ends, I'm definitely going to do something strange for a little bit of change. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm going to have some Bretton Strange this week. But yeah, I kind of agree. But any other final thoughts before we go to running back?
Nah, I don't have any other thoughts on quarterback. I will just the last thing I'll say with Jaden Daniels, to your point about spends up, um, it's partly because like it's not a true spend up, is why I'm more inclined to pay him. If he were like in that 8K range, it'd be a clear fade for me. Also, just shameless plug for the contest analyzer that is live now at Paydirt. We're going to be able to back test some of these things. I'm looking forward to that. I feel like NFL is one of the sports that has the most, I guess, like myths and conceptions, right, about like what does and doesn't work. So we'll really be able to dive into those and see like what actually is working in the top 1% of lineups.
Yep. I totally agree. And I'm excited to see that tool after about like week 3, week 4, too, when we get some data and we get to see how construction really shakes out. For now, for running back. So, Tribe, in this position, this is where I really think not that I'm going to prioritize spending up there, because obviously if we're going to focus on certain game stacks that or certain onslaughts, that's really dependent of that. But
Mhm.
I just think we have so many strong running back plays. There's just so much value here that you don't really have to dumpster dive at all. So what are your thoughts for running back this week, and where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like just the way that pricing is for this week one is so soft. Like you don't need to take any leaps of faith here. I think you can just I am wondering about some of these younger guys. I feel we've seen this over the past few seasons now, right? Like the decline of the true workhorse running back. And so with some of these guys, I do wonder like what is their workload actually going to look like? For example, James Conner, right, from Arizona. He's not the youngest guy in the world. You have a quarterback who also has rushing upside, which can cap his ceiling. They've been talking up one of the younger running backs that's behind him. So what is his workload and that split really look like? Um, he's got modest ownership. We have him at 9%. It's early in the week though, so take ownership projections with a grain of salt this early in the week. But that's one like if he starts coming in looking chalky, like I'll probably fade that. Um, McCaffrey, we just got news that like he's dealing with something,
Calf, and like they
calf
said something
strain.
with a calf.
Yeah. So,
Never ends. Never ends with
right,
him.
right. Like he was the easy button, at 7,300. Um,
What makes it tough with
so
McCaffrey too is that like when you hear a calf, it could be anything from like they're just giving him a reason for an off day, or like he tore his fucking Achilles, right? Like it's I feel like there's like no
right,
in
and that's one of
between
those
with him.
injuries too, right? Like it's fine, and then come game day, like on the first drive, he's out for the game. Didn't we see that with him like a
Yeah,
couple seasons ago?
we did.
Yeah, yeah. So like
We
this is
did.
a guy like kind of with a at this point he kind of has like an injury history a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but in a vacuum, like you know, if that's not there, like to me, he's an easy click at 7,300. Bucky Irving from the Bucks, like I like the Bucks this week. I think he's
How do you not though, right? Like
right
in the
and
dome on the fast track, how do you not like them?
right. And I think he's one of those guys you can play him in an onslaught stack, like you can play him with Baker. He does catch passes out of the backfield, so it's not crazy. Same thing with Jameer Gibbs. I don't that game. I'm not going to lie to you. That I feel like that game's going to get a lot of hype, Detroit and Green Bay, but I actually don't like that game a ton from a DFS perspective.
I don't want to touch it really at all, right?
Yeah.
Like and it's a pricing thing. It's with that it feels a little funny to say because we're like pricing's not really a thing this week. But no, I'm with you, man. Like both quarterbacks just don't really give you that. Like they need to throw
Hmm.
for multiple touchdowns and have a lot of volume. Jordan Love has never been a volume passer. It's just not what Matt LaFleur does.
Hmm.
And I think the path you probably want to take is like Gibbs or Amon Ra is like a one-off probably from Detroit. So like I don't blame you.
Yeah. And to be honest, if I'm paying up at, it's just a weird price point for him, right? Because he's more expensive than McCaffrey, and he's only 300 less than Bijan. So like at that point, right? It's like I'm either just gonna play McCaffrey, pending any like crazy news we get between now and Sunday, or I'm just spending the extra $300 for Bijan, right? That being said, one thing we talked about pretty much every single week last season was the mid tier of running backs is
Yeah,
generally like where that's where the money's made.
100%. Oh my
Um,
God, Javante Williams just got stopped on the one after like a 12-yard
can we get a Dak
sneak.
sneak? Yes.
Nah, honestly, I Javante Williams captain lineups to the fucking moon, baby. Let's get him in the end zone again.
Um, I'll take a Miles Sanders vulture too.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that. I think they think he's booty cheeks, bro.
I
He's
mean,
not
he
getting any
is,
tick.
but
He's not getting any tick right now. I feel like
um,
they might just throw a fade to Lamb,
I'm
but no,
good with that too.
yeah, I'll take that.
But
Actually, they're gonna let the first quarter run out. Sorry.
no, all right. Well,
No.
there's that. Chase Brown, who is surprisingly low owned.
I can't get over that, and I think I wonder if it's because people want to play the passing game, but you're gonna give me 6,600 against this,
And
Browns
they
defense.
cut the other guy. Like the other guy's not there.
Zach
Like this is
Moss.
Chase Brown's backfield.
Yeah, it's definitely his Samaje Perine is his backup.
Yeah, who was the
Samaje
other guy they had last year though? There was another
Zach
guy who they actually would like give run to.
Zach Moss.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
Kyron Williams at 6,500 is that price is stupid against Houston. Like I don't Houston's defense is whatever. Like they're in LA. Like yes, please, sure. I mean, it's not sneaky. He like does have double digit ownership at 10%. But that's warranted. That's just a dumb price for him.
No matter how you split it, dude, you can make a case for anybody from like Kenneth Walker up. I'm not going to think anybody's a bad play, like in a vacuum. I feel
Yeah,
like you can. I feel like you can kind of, yeah, you can kind of make your case for anybody.
yeah. You
There's
got
one
Kenneth
guy
Walker,
though.
Chuba. Kamara.
Yeah,
Your
Kamara's
our,
another
our
one.
boy is finally up out of here. Pack him up.
Yeah, 6,300.
Taysom Hill, no threat now.
Yeah,
Beautiful. We might actually get a goal line carry for Kamara now.
I mean that would require them to like have to get on the goal line.
The problem is they have Spencer Rattler.
Did that? Wait, I thought wait no Taysom Hill's still in New Orleans.
I thought he was injured.
Is he? That would be nutty if he is.
I swear he was like they just have Juwan Johnson listed.
Oh yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's on the PUP list. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Wow. Excuse the profanity, but yeah, that's something to consider because that guy just vultures everything, man.
Right.
You know, I feel like nobody on this planet owes us more money than fucking Taysom Hill. Like you think like your local state government owes you a tax refund? No, that motherfucker owes you money. He owes us all money.
In theory, I really like Alvin Kamara. I like Juwan Johnson as a cheap tight end. The problem is Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Yeah. I give you something that might inspire some more confidence though. So New Orleans, for New Orleans being as bad of a team as we all expect them to be, and I fully think they're not going to be a good team, but they brought in Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is a very, very aggressive defensive coordinator. Javonte Williams times 2, by the way.
Dog.
I know that's fucking wild, but my bad. I never thought I'd see the day as a Broncos fan. Javonte Williams scores the first 2, rushing.
I mean, when you let him be the lead back, it's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes change of scenery is good, man.
I guess so. And against a team in Dallas that historically has not produced great runners. So this is interesting. Granted, he's only got 34 yards on the ground and he scored twice, but I digress. But yeah, so Brandon Staley, very aggressive coordinator. What he likes to do, man, is he likes to pin the sidelines and he doesn't really like to let these guys go out and try to beat them deep on the seams. He likes to, sit in these zones that with a lot of blitzes and he dares you to throw it over the middle. Kyler is a little rugrat. He does not do well against that type of scheme. And historically, he has not performed well against Brandon Staley's offense. So when he was in, the Chargers, they played a few times, other teams too, where he's been the coordinator. I think he was the coordinator also in LA for a while with the Rams. Kyler has like struggled immensely against his defensive scheme. So all I'm saying is I think you might get an opportunity. You might get some short field opportunities this week that you might not think would be there because I think I think Kyler is going to be fine eventually. Yeah. Do I think they win the game? Yeah. But like, I purposely didn't take them in Survivor this week because I think Kyler is going to struggle. So that's my case is that maybe you get some leverage on people that are going to play the Connor chalk. You can maybe go, Kamara and Saints defense and, maybe that's something you do, but I like Kamara a lot now, actually, especially that Taysom Hill's out. Thank you for that. That's a really good nugget. There's one guy, though, I'm surprised you didn't mention, and he's by far my favorite running back on the week, and we don't even have him projected that well.
Is this going to be your King of Queens take?
What do you mean, King? No. Fuck, no King of Queens taken. I am not Kevin James. I'm like 3 times the size of Kevin James. So take it easy there. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh,
I
okay, okay, okay.
fucking love Jonathan Taylor this week, man. Daniel Jones is such like a floor upgrade for them. I'm not saying he's a world beater. He's Daniel Jones, but you're gonna tell me against Miami, the cesspool that they are right now, they're struggling as a team. They have all these things wrong with them, and Mike McDaniel's like the first coach in the hot seat. Their defense is not good. They haven't really been able to contain the run really ever the last 2 years, and now you're gonna get them at home with a quarterback who's going to try to just not turn the ball over. They're going to give this guy all the work that he can handle. And the other reason why I really, really like him a lot, and I know we're showing 9% ownership, people want to play Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones is like the third, fourth most highest owned quarterback in most projection systems right now. Like I'm just going to play Jonathan Taylor.
Oh,
And I
100%.
and he fits with everything. Like you want to take it to a stack and play that game and put him in it, you can. You want to make a part of Daniel Jones's stack, you can. And I just think he's such a good price tag right now. I think I want my shares of him. I don't mind Josh Jacobs too. Granted, his efficiency has gone down. Like that doesn't matter because all they want to do is pound the rock over and over again. But I'm with you, man, on Chase Brown. I'm with you on Bucky. To me, like the combination of like Taylor and Chase Brown is like very, very hard to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I mean, look, like thinking about it now, like talking it through, I'm probably gonna condense my pool down to Bijan, CMC, pending any news, Bucky, JT, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, Kamara. Personally,
I like
like,
that.
and like I'm not playing like 150 lineups, so like and even if you are playing 150, like you can't play everybody. You do need to like set some constraints for yourself in your player pool. Um, so I know there's some guys that the models love Ashton Genty for the Raiders. Probably not getting there. Achan for the Dolphins. If I'm going with an onslaught, like a Miami onslaught, like sure, but as a one-off, I don't think I get there. I'm not touching anything in Pitts in Steelers Jets.
He's been a little bit banged up too. Achan's had a calf problem
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
few weeks
In
too.
preseason he was hurt. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like you said, and then after Kenneth Walker, like I'm not touching anything down there. Like just there's no need to even look.
Totally agree. I like your take a lot also on Kyron Williams, just thinking about the usage that he's gotten. They do this every year in LA where like they always say like the baton's gonna get passed. Like they said it when Todd Gurley started getting a little bit older, like, oh, they're gonna pass the baton to whoever his fucking backup
They're gonna
was. And
pass the
then
baton to who? Who?
who was it? Yeah, remember they were like,
No,
oh,
Cam
Cam
Akers
Akers.
isn't there anymore. Cam Akers is on. Isn't he on Houston?
Oh no. I'm talking about when Todd Gurley was there. They're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
we're
yeah. Yeah.
to his
It's
backup. And then
Blake Corum. They're gonna pass the baton to Blake Corum. Got out of
yeah,
here.
no way. Especially with the extension they just signed Kyron to,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and actually, the only real fade I'm going to call here is Brees Hall. I just think that game environment
Yeah, that's what
sucks.
I'm saying. I'm not touching that game.
Yeah, me neither. But all right, it seems like we're in pretty much lockstep. A guy that I'm going to throw down here, though, that I know before. I know we said we're not going to go below Kenneth Walker, but there are two guys I want to shout out that if you do need the salary relief, I think they're worth a stab. Travion Henderson, I don't mind. I think he's going to walk right into all the workload. And RJ Harvey, if you think Denver, and I'm not saying this, I'm a Denver fan, that you have a rookie quarterback in a new system on the road in Mile High. Denver, we have the best team that we've had in almost a decade, if not more. I think it's just a tough spot for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if RJ Harvey, whether he leads the backfield or not, gets his fair share. You might have to bank on some efficiency, but if you do need to cut salary and you don't want to use the plethora of wide receivers, I think you could do worse than those two.
Yeah. No, I like that take. I like Travion Henderson quite a bit actually. I don't know that I need the savings, but I'm with you on that.
He makes sense in some game stacks if you wanted to do that, like May onslaught. You can go him. You can go him May with Diggs, or you want to take one of those Hunter Henry or somebody, bring it back with Janty and Myers. Now that Amari Cooper is retired,
That's crazy.
that's insane. I can't get
That
over
came out,
that,
that
man.
came out of nowhere.
By the way,
You know what
Dallas
stack we didn't
Goddard's
talk
having
about though
oof,
that I actually like now that I think about it?
who?
Gino. Like we stack like if they go out there and like they have him playing like what he was doing in Seattle, like he was one of those guys like just every week you can play like him, Jacoby Myers, and Brock Bowers.
Yeah, get air it out.
Absolutely.
My only concern with that, and this is such a micro concern, it's like I don't want anybody thinking like you should go ahead and like make your full on decision off of this. But Pete Carroll, Tribe, I'm going to tell you a story about Pete Carroll, and I'm going to tell you about a story where he cost me a lot of money. And and this is why you know how they say like people after a certain age like shouldn't be able to drive, no matter
Yes.
what. Their vision's great, but they still have the reaction time. Same thing with coaching football. He's got to go. This motherfucker, they I think it was I got to remember the year. It might have been 2018, 2019. Or I pretty sure it's before COVID. Had the Seahawks off and running, off and running. They were like 7-2 to start the year. They're throwing the ball all over the yard.
Oh, was this the year where he just decided to start running the ball for no reason?
That
And then they
piece of
like
shit.
yes, and then they like went on a losing streak.
That was the Tribe. That was the fucking year. It was Deshaun Watson's rookie season where they had that huge shootout. And I
Yeah.
remember that the game that the Millie Maker lineup that won because I had a great single entry day. I didn't triple stack them, but I double stacked Seattle. It was like Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, Paul Richardson, and I forgot who the other wide receiver was, but they all went nuts. And then you brought it back with Hopkins, and they went ballistic. And yeah, then a few weeks later they play Buffalo. Buffalo punches them in the mouth, and Buffalo wasn't a great team then. He goes, we got to come out and run the ball more. The next week they were playing the worst pass defense in football. They came out and ran like 20 times in the first half. And like I just have like these visions and these nightmares of Mike Tirico when he's on Sunday Night Football going, oh, that was a Pete Carroll attitude drive. Like, fuck that motherfucker. I just
What does that even mean? Like, all right.
yeah, because like he comes out like in like they're down 14 at halftime, and he comes out and runs the ball down their throats like that's an attitude drive. I'm like, are you kidding me? So like that's my fear with stacking Gino is I feel like this motherfucker's gonna go, hey Chip Kelly, I know you love to run the ball. I love to run the ball, even though we're down 21. Let's run the ball. Like I could just
The
I have
only
visions.
I don't know if he's willing to do that with a rookie running back. Like I get it, he was like, this college football monster, but I don't know if they're going to give like the rookie in his first NFL game, like if the game plan is going to be like just have him run it 25 times.
He did it with Kenneth Walker. Like that's like if
That's
you're
true.
looking for a case study right there, like
That's true.
Kenneth Walker's rookie season, 228 carries. He hasn't.
I don't think he's had that many since.
No, in 2023 it decreased by 10 carries, and also that's when Kenneth Walker he didn't even start for the games in
That's
2022.
insane.
Yeah, so like yeah
Uh,
maybe, but they invested this draft capital in this guy.
That's
They're
true.
gonna let him run.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
onslaught it.
Yeah, I think that's the way to. Maybe we'll start a new Oh my God, Jalen Hurts scrambled for just like 15 yards and fell on the 8-yard line. Shit, maybe next year not next year, next week we start our own new segment called Onslaught or Not, something like that. But we'll do that because I think that's I think that would onslaught that. But yeah, I just don't trust Geno with Pete Carroll there. I don't trust it. I got to see it once. Uh, but now go to wide receiver. So I know that wide receiver is just littered with really strong value plays because DraftKings decided to release pricing 1 month fucking before the season starts. So we have guys that are clearly mispriced here. I guess because there's just so many, we'll break it down by like salary brackets, I guess. So let's go like 6,500 and up, starting at Drake London through Chase. Who are you interested in here?
See, this is not conflicting, but it's like some of these guys I want as part of his stacks. I don't really care for them as one offs. Like Mike Evans, I'm absolutely including him in every Tampa Bay stack. I don't really want him as a one off. Same with Puka Nakua. Like if I'm onslaughting Rams, just Stafford, Nakua, Kyron Williams, sure. Don't really want him as a one-off. Amon Ra is like the opposite. I only want him as a one-off. I do not want a golf stack this week. I don't think. Malik Neighbors, I only want as a one-off. I don't want to touch that New York Giants offense. And Drake London, probably not. Like I get it as a leverage play if Bijan is chalk, but that's another one. Like that's one of those ones where I think you can play like the double stack, right? You could play like Bijan and Drake London and not play Penix.
Did you just call Penix?
Penix.
Pause.
Penix. Just whip it out, man.
Fucking pause.
I don't think he whips it out this week, by the way.
Yo, pause. Pause. Oh my gosh. Jalen Hurts times 2, by the way. He just rushed one in.
Oh, all right.
Crazy.
I don't. Jamar Chase is getting a lot of love. It's Jamar Chase, but I don't really think you need to go up 8,100 at receiver this week. Like
I only think in stacks, like game stacks, like as
Yeah,
a one-off.
that's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
I think playing him and Bijan as one-offs is just like it's a very risky proposition. I just think you're giving up a lot of positional value. And in this week, like I think I want to know your thoughts, but I kind of think we leverage it through like taking on like wholesale sort of stacks in like
Yes.
game environments.
Also,
So
holy crap, I've been out of it. MLB was a grind for real. I forgot Devontae Adams is on the Rams. What the bro?
I know.
Why are we not onslaughting Rams? You have I don't care that like we had that joke of what happened last year with him and like Aaron Rodgers posting like the buddy pics, and then they went and did absolutely nothing.
I will tell you though, Houston's defense is like very, very much improved. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But yeah, I agree.
Right,
The only
Devontae
thing
Adams, Puka Nacua, and Kyron Williams, and nobody is talking. All right.
It's just like to onslaught them, it's very expensive. But yeah, I'm with you, man. And actually, when we get down to the lower range, I'm actually going to talk about Devontae Adams. He's a guy that I have more of like a higher season.
Matt Stafford's under 5K. I mean under 6K.
Yeah, but Puka Nacua is 7,600 and Devontae Adams is 6,100. You know, you're paying close to, if not more than 20 grand for a three player onslaught when you could go get, a Bucks onslaught with 4 guys for the same price.
What does this look like? Who am I bringing it back with from Houston?
Nico Collins.
I don't even know who else they even have on their damn team.
Christian
they have like
Kirk,
no running back.
Jaden Higgins. I think Woody Marks eventually is going to lead that backfield. They came out and kind of said already that Nick Chubb is like we're going to squeeze.
Oh, he's washed.
Yeah, like we're going to squeeze all the juice we can out of him. He's just not the same. They basically came out and said that. Like that was their.
Well, damn.
They admitted that. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, our Discord is losing it right now. An Aubrey bomb field goal would hit like crack right now. Pause.
Well, all right.
It's insane.
Nah, you can make this work, man. You can definitely make this work. I might. And then Nico is what? Oh, I got the nuts.
Pause, bro. You gotta you got to chill a little bit.
Nah, man, because we're gonna fuck this week, man.
Aha! Pause.
Aha!
Pause. Just wear a condom, bro. Wear a condom, please.
I just need somebody not to bite this lineup, but right, like it's the Rams onslaught. You go with the Jacoby Myers, Travion Henderson mini.
Yep.
Juwan Johnson with Saints defense. Boom.
Okay. We can make that happen. I like that. To expand on your thoughts in this range too, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is just like I just don't know how he's not. Like if Brian Thomas Jr. is less than like 15% owned,
we have him like sub 10% right now. If that
It's
holds
fucking
true, that
stupid.
yeah,
Stupid against the
like
Carolina Panthers. Like
what are we
he
doing?
should be insane. I mean, I will say the price on Tyreek is like kind of stupid too. 6,700 for a guy
What's
who's
this Q
routinely,
tag? Is he actually injured? Is he dealing with something, or is
I
that
don't
just
know,
like
probably CTE or something. Who knows?
well?
Fucking guy. Uh Oblique, limited participant. They think he's gonna suit up though too.
Okay, and
But
isn't he getting like that chick is trying to get him for like 50 mil or something crazy? They just had a
yeah,
baby.
something like
Jesus.
that. Jason's that Jason Taylor's sister too. I think not Jason Taylor, other Miami Dolphin guy. Jason, that's Joy Taylor. I'm an
Bro,
idiot.
if you getting extorted by a woman who already comes from money, like you just suck at the game.
Yeah, like I think you
Jeez.
should just move, like retire and move away. That's probably
Yeah.
what I would
You
do.
want to talk about who needs to wear a condom? Good
Uh,
God.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, and no, but I agree with everything you said there. Neighbors, I'm into. I kind of like the idea of like being first on a Russell Wilson stack, but I'm only gonna have it maybe in like 2 to 3 lineups on my 150.
I'm not gonna lie, he had some bombs that he was dropping in
And
preseason.
the Giants will let their quarterbacks throw the ball. Like they will let
Yeah.
them do that. And in general, I think they're just going to be a much more competitive team than last year. You know, their defense is a little bit more solid. Their back end, uh, their secondary leaves a lot to be desired, but linebacking core is upgraded. Their defense, they have the best defensive line in football. You actually have the first competent quarterback, and I don't care what anyone says. Like I get he's a fucking cornball, religious freak, whatever you want to say about
He's
him.
he's
He's a
unequivocally the best quarterback they've had since Eli retired.
he a
And it's
hundred
not
percent.
close.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a very good NFL quarterback, and he likes to throw moon balls. So
Yeah.
if you're going to give me some Russell Wilson, you're going to give me some Malik Neighbors. I can pair that with like
What's the receiver that they have that like he literally only runs go routes?
Slayton or Hyatt.
I think it's both of them.
Yeah, I think it's Jalen Hyatt. He just runs like straight go routes.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm all into that, and also I fucking love Mike Evans. Our ownership, agrees with that. How do you
Yep.
not love Big Mike? But yeah, outside of that, going below them, Drake London, T Higgins. Obviously, I know we probably both have some interest in game stacks, but like
Yeah.
it's a little tough to pay that much for a number two when I can go pay the same price for a number one elsewhere. It's just
Yeah, it's
that's
not as
tough.
valid.
But in the
Um,
Flacco stacks, I'm definitely into that as a bring back. But in this range, so I'm actually going to lead off here because I'm about to give you that puke play of the week right
go
here
for it.
in this section. So we're going to go from 5,000 and up here to about Garrett Wilson. So this player I want to talk about, it's not for the faint of heart, and honestly, it's not for the faint of heart because I think that he's not a good receiver. Everybody will think he's a really good receiver, but I think that there's a lot of momentum going his way to have a much, much better year. And that is my guy, Jalen Waddle at 5,700. On the fast track, I don't care that Tua is concussed and full of CTE. Tyreek Hill's beating women, having kids. Mike McDaniel's about to relapse into alcoholism. And the one thing that has been true outside of last year, Jalen Waddle goes over 1,000 yards every season. I think we see that again. This Colts secondary absolutely sucks. I'm not afraid of it whatsoever. I think it's a really, really good bounce back spot here. And the thing I like about his pricing is that he does not sacrifice many other stacks. You can play him as a one off, you can play him in stacks. His pricing is very friendly and his ceiling is extremely, extremely high. So Jalen Waddle is going to be my puke play of the week because he's just lost people so much money. And that offense has been terrible. Jalen Waddle's my guy this week, man. I got a very, very strong feeling about him.
Nah, I think early in the week is when, or not early in the week, early in the season is when you want to take him. Like take him before like everything falls off the rails for that team.
Yeah, you're totally right. And it's probably not the biggest puke play that there is, but that's because everybody's cheap as hell this week.
Right.
But yeah, I'm very, very much into that into that situation. Cortland Sutton, signed me up for that. Sean Payton is, as we all know, a piece of shit who likes to run up the score. That's who he is. I'm all about that action. I would love to see Cortland Sutton do his thing. And against Tennessee, I think it's a really good spot. Um, Jameson Williams, I think if you're going to go to anybody in that Detroit game, it's a very, very good value piece. Marvin Harrison, don't have a ton of interest in. Jerry Judy, fuck yeah. I know we didn't mention him in the quarterback section, but
Joe
I think,
Flacco. We
yeah,
saw what he did last season. Yeah, he's gonna air it out.
and they're 6-point road dogs, and I think they're 6-point home. Are they home? Oh yeah, they're six
Yeah, they're
point
home.
home dogs, and Cincinnati's secondary is absolute trash. Even though they paid Hendrickson, he's got to ramp up. Like I'm not scared of them whatsoever. And the other guy I'll mention down here is, Tet McMillan, sick.
Yep.
Cooper Cup, sick. And actually, I lied. I'm going to change my puke play of the week, but I want to hear your thoughts because I have somebody else that's also a puke play. But I get up to a puke plays. It's week 1. I'll have
I
to.
love Jacoby Myers down here. 5,100.
How do you fucking not
like
with Cooper gone?
yeah, like oh, and the white boy is gone. Renfro.
Oh yeah, he's in Carolina.
He's
He's
in
been gone for
Carolina.
2 years though. Did you know he missed all last season because he found out he had colitis and didn't know how to deal with it or something like that?
Really? Oh, well,
Yeah.
damn. That actually
Boys
explains
got a
why
shit.
Jacoby Myers was getting more love last season.
Boys got a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeesh. Godspeed. But yeah, Jacoby Myers at 5,100, especially like if he's going to be like a third the ownership of Deebo Samuel, like absolutely. Like I don't get the Deebo Samuel chalk here.
So that's my other puke play. I can explain it to you, and I'm all
Okay.
about it. I already bet his over yards prop too. I got it at like 46.5.
Talk to me about this.
Okay. So number one. So when you look at, Cliff Kingsbury and his system, what he always ran, he did this at Texas Tech, he did this in Arizona, and he did it last year too, is that he likes to have these guys that can run these high-low routes where he has like the intermediate route runners and he has more burners that go deep. That's why last year you saw Zach Ertz kind of run these little like 8-10 yard outs and like little crosses, and Terry McLaurin was taking a lot of deep throws. Well, now last year they had De'Ami Brown, who's more of a burner, Terry McLaurin, who's a star but also a burner. You had McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey, who's also a burner. I am convinced that Deebo Samuel is that guy that's going to take those over intermediary routes. They've already ran some gadget plays for him in the preseason. They gave up a little bit of equity to go get him too from San Francisco. In the NFL, when these guys make trades and they go out of their way to get people that are like perceived problems on their team or people are unhappy, they really intend on using them. And I think that Deebo Samuel is going to be that safety valve for Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't be surprised with Terry McLaurin getting ramped up and not being at his full potential. And that's the other thing too. You've seen guys hold out throughout the offseason
Yeah,
and throughout
it takes
camp.
them a couple weeks to get to their like actual playing self. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I'm all over him personally. I love him. I think at 5,200, I think he gives you a very, very good floor. And if things go right, he could probably get you some upside too.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to play him as a chalk one off.
I don't think he's going to be that chalky. I think he's going to come in a little lower than that.
Okay,
But
I'll keep an eye on his ownership.
yeah, anything sub 10. If he's sub 10, I'm in. If he's over 10, stack only. But I would not be surprised if you see a stat line from him of like 7 for 75, a touchdown, and like 20 rushing yards. Like, I would not surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anybody else you like in this range before we go down to the dumpster diving? The call it the loony bin down here.
I mean, Stephon Diggs, right? If we talked up Drake May and he's popping in the models at the quarterback position, like we got to mention Diggs at 5,300. It's like the natural stacking partner with him. Raiders defense is not good. So, he doesn't project particularly well, but he's definitely the best pure talent at receiver they've had in a very long time.
and I think he's going to earn a lot of targets too. I
Right,
mean, if he,
right,
as
right,
long as he's healthy, they didn't give him that fat contract because they think he's washed.
right, right. So that would be the other guy I would call out there.
Pretty insane. Pretty insane that he's on the fucking Patriots. When they signed him, I thought it was a joke. I just because they don't really like yeah, okay, they signed Randy Moss, but like outside of that, like who was their big
I
signing that
mean,
you were like,
this
wow?
is it's a new regime, man. Belichick isn't there no more. He's out getting thrashed by TCU.
I guess when you're right, man. That's I'm excited to see what he does. I just hope he stays healthy. He's electrifying, man, when he's healthy. Um Going lower now, we kind of have this is like where the logjam kind of starts. And just to give you my take quick, I'm gonna go very fast here. Calvin Ridley, love that price tag, just don't love it against the Denver Broncos. He's gonna get the certain treatment. I'm good on
Hmm.
that. The Matthew Golden guy is getting hype. Until I see Matthew Golden, until I see one receiver emerge and average like 8 to 10 targets a game on that team, like I'm not really going to be that excited about them ever. Um, Darnell Mooney, I think, is fine in a game stack. Jawan Jennings, he's probably not ramped up. Higgins, if you want to roll the dice, fine. Pittman, I'm good. Egbuka is just, in my opinion, just an elite value. Pierce Saul's an elite value. And I don't mind Marvin Mims in Denver stacks. He started to really come on towards the end of last year, and apparently they want to use him a ton. And the last guy I'll throw in there is Cedric Tillman. I think one of, if not both of him and Jerry Judy are going to have weeks where they just, not that they can break the slate, but they're both going to have some ceiling outcomes. And that price is just too cheap for how much they're going to throw.
I mean, I'm pretty much with you. The only guys I'm looking at in this range, Egbuka, number one, Parasol, Tillman. If I'm stacking, I'm not playing him as a value one-off. I want to like Matthew Golden. Green Bay really likes him, but like they just don't. They're not a team that keys in on like a single guy.
Yep.
Um, I really want to take a shot on these Colts receiver, like Pittman and Downs both being under 5K is crazy to me. But then I remember it's Daniel Jones. So it's like I don't know how much to expect out of him, but like both of them have like 20-point fantasy upside easily.
I mean, is he? Look, the Daniel Jones. Are we being Russian judges with him just because of what we saw in New York? I mean, we've seen this
That's
time
true.
and time again when these quarterbacks like leave bad situations. Baker Mayfield. Well, did anybody think he was going to be what he is now when he left
Right,
Cleveland? Sam Darnold. Darnold just got fucking paid. Led the Vikings to their best season in the last
right.
few years. Maybe do I think Daniel Jones is as good as those guys? I don't know, but he's a 6'5" athletic, freaky quarterback who has shown that when you give him protection, he will make throws. So I kind of don't hate what you're saying there. I think they're
You know
both
what I
just
I
stupid
don't
cheap.
mind doing? Like if I'm doing like 20 lineups, right? I don't mind doing even like three onslaughts. Like you go Jones, Pittman, Downs, right? Joan, Pittman, Warren, Joan, Downs, Warren. You really want to get freak nasty with it. You add Jonathan Taylor in there too. Just hope
Freak,
they just smack Miami, bring it back
freak.
with Jalen Waddle, and call it a day.
Yeah, yeah, it's not terrible.
I mean, you look at the game total and the spread. It's not terrible.
I mean, let me go take a look right now. It's a 46 game total. But sharp money is coming in on the over, and it's a 1.5 point home dog.
That's what I'm
Sorry,
saying.
home favorite, I should say.
Yeah.
Sorry, home favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree. I think you could do worse than that. Any other ones down here that are really catching your eye?
Uh, I want to say Raheed Shaheed just because he won me a ton of money last year, but that's thin.
I don't even think Spencer Rattler can throw the ball to like
I
Morgan
don't.
West
Like
Bronx.
if they had literally anyone else at quarterback, I'd be in on it. But he
I'd rather have
sucks.
Taysom. I'd rather have Taysom
I'd
Hill
rather have
play
Taysom
quarterback.
Hill at quarterback. Yes.
We've seen him throw some deep balls in the past. I don't mind that at all. Um, so there's actually one guy down here I'm going to highlight, and the only reason why I'm saying him, and it I still don't want to target anybody from Green Bay if I don't have to, but if we get word that Jaden Reed is going to miss, Romeo Dobbs at 4,300 is
Hmm.
very cheap. I'm just throwing that out there. I
Yeah.
mean, and in the same breath, you could say Golden's also cheap. Like Christian Watson's out, Dontavian Wicks is on the injury report. He practiced limitedly with a calf. Reed was limited with a foot. If you get a situation where like Reed is out or Wicks is out, one of those guys probably becomes a good play. If you get both of them out, now you're probably talking like, all right, you probably want to invest in some Golden or Dobbs, but it's just very cheap for this situation. And outside of that, yeah, Darius Slayton, deep ball threat, that's fine. Dante Thornton is definitely going to be in the mix now without Amari Cooper. I think he won that slot job like clear in camp, so I also don't mind that. And as a Denver fan, I'm not going to play Troy Franklin.
No,
But
we're not doing that.
yeah, you probably don't have any strong thoughts of anybody sub 4K, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Like there's absolutely zero reason to go there.
I agree. Now for tight end. So this is an interesting week for tight end, Tribe, and I want to know what you're thinking because most weeks last year, and especially probably towards like week 8, 9, we saw cheap tight ends and often tight ends in the flex be something that people went to as a source of value. This week, though, I'm kind of having a very hard time. You know, I'm actually kind of having a hard time like paying down really for anybody that's not, you know, in my stack, right? I'm not going to go one off K Dotton. I'm not going to one off Gesicki. The only one who I may one off is Bretton Strange, just because of like the role he plays. And but outside of that, I think if you're going to go one off, you kind of have to pay up a little bit. So what are you going to do at tight end? I know you're going to say you're just going to stack, but what else are you thinking here?
Oh, that's I'm actually probably not gonna include. Well, that's not true. It depends what team it is. One offs. It's one of two guys. It's either Brenton Strange or Jawan Johnson. Like if I'm going the one off route. Um, Aside from that, I'm probably just including it in the stack for us. If I'm paying up as a one off, it's Brock Bowers. But
Okay.
yeah, it's probably either I'm one offing one of those cheap guys in Jawan Johnson or Brenton Strange, or I'm just including it in my stack. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there too. I mean, for me, it's just all about who you
Is
stack with.
Denver still a tight end funnel?
Mm, kind of,
Uh,
but it's also like when they say a tight end funnel, like yeah, they give up some fantasy production to the tight end spot, but it's not like tight ends are just like running all over to them. They like give up them as a safety valve.
I
Like
mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of okay with that at Okonkwo. Like if he can get there on volume at 3,400.
yeah, I agree, and especially if you want to stack Denver, like in my opinion, he's a very good bring back. I'm with you on that. If I'm going a one off anywhere, it's probably Trey McBride. If you know, I just he at 6,200 for the volume that guy sees, we would pay
Yeah.
that easily if he was a wide receiver. Um, Outside of that, I don't mind Ingram in a stack. Tyler Warren, if you're going to stack, I think is a very sharp play. But yeah, in terms of just a one-off play, I'm not stacking my tight end. Yeah, it's Bretton Strange for me down there. I just love this spot too, where it's a good game environment. He's had some momentum, and that's the other thing about football. When guys tend to end a season strong and a team ends a season strong, there tends to be some momentum that carries over. I think he's going to be heavily involved, and as you saw last year at times, you know Tampa Bay really liked utilizing tight ends, and you know, I think it's a good spot for him. I do, but yeah, we're on the same boat here. Just we're gonna stack this position up with our quarterback. That's
Yeah.
probably
I
what
will
we're
say
doing.
in regards to like the tight end and the flex thing, that there's a good chance that becomes a thing again this season. It's just for this week, just because of the pricing, it's not necessary, right?
I
Like if I
totally
can
agree.
go and get Kyron Williams at the same price, basically as like the top end tight end, like I'm just gonna get if you can get an RB1 with volume for the same price as the top tight end, just take the RB1.
I totally agree, and it's funny you bring that up about the flex and RB1. So I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that over the last 2 seasons in the Millionaire Maker, did you know that more than like 65% of the time, top 1% finish lineups had three running backs and used a running back in the flex? And then the second most
Hmm.
was tight ends, and the tight ends sort of came later on in the year
Yep.
when they got cheaper. So I actually think it's a really good idea to not do that this week and just play a running back,
Play three running backs. Yeah, yeah.
play three running backs, lock in your floor, go get some upside. And that's the thing I like about it too. And just to go back to running backs really quickly, Saquon touchdown.
Now there we go.
Um, is
Damn.
that
The people who
unlike
built those rules to not play Hurts and Saquon together.
I mean, I'll tell you, like if Saquon doesn't do much for the rest of the game, like he's not really gonna.
No, I know he's not. He's not doing what I think. Jalen Hurts is still leading the team in rushing.
He's up. Barkley's at 14 fantasy points, so he's probably the guy you need from that team not named Hurts. But
Oh shit, Jahan Dotson with 51 yard
oh
bomb.
yeah, dude, he ran this he ran this seam route up
Oh,
the middle where the guy was already on his outside, and then he still faked outside to come back in, and the guy didn't move, and he was just still open. Like he didn't have to make the move, which
oh
was like
wow.
that's hysterical. But yeah, but go back to the running back really quickly. Like for 6,100, 6,000, 6,300, you can go get the number one running back who's going to get a lot of action, for their team in the flex versus like a number two wide receiver or a
Right,
tight end who's not the number one option on their team.
right. Like you can go get Kenneth Walker. You can go get Alvin Kamara at 6,300.
Chase Brown at 66.
Yep, yep. Kyron Williams down there at 65. So yeah, just makes a lot of sense to
Yeah, it
go there.
does. Now, last but not least, we'll go take a look at a small field sim, and then we'll leave the people with our final thoughts.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right, I just ran the sims here. All right, let's take a look. So, when we go and look at our export frame, overall exposures, heavy lean on McCaffrey in small field. That makes sense. He's owned. He seems like he's probably pretty good chalk there against a Seattle team that really hasn't done much to improve the run. Then you see Kittle here also, which I find very, very interesting. Then Tet McMillan, Igbuka, some guys we called out, and Chase Brown and Achane. When we go to quarterback, Trevor Lawrence is showing the highest exposure, slight negative edge, but it's really negligible. The lowest edge at quarterback is Jared Goff. So to your point about not wanting to target that game really, for stacks, that makes a lot of sense. Biggest edge, Geno Smith. There you
Gino,
go.
listen, man.
Yeah, I'm not fucking touching him. If you want to play him, you can.
I 100% will be playing him. Thank you very
That
much.
is the one situation where I'm okay with going. Like if Pete Carroll shoves it up my ass, pause. I will live with that.
Bro, bro.
I will live with that. Uh, but yeah, we also have Justin Fields. Not playing him in that game environment. Cam Ward, no thank you. Rogers, no thank you. Daniel Jones has an edge here too, so maybe we do got to consider him. You do have Darnold, which I don't mind that a little bit. I think I prefer the San Francisco side. And your boy Jane Daniels and Drake May. Going and looking at running backs, obviously we know McCaffrey was a pretty high edge here. Chase Brown, Kamara, Achane. So yeah, this is telling you right here that with the simulations, like this is where you should be living for running backs this week.
Yep.
And this edge is pretty crazy. This exposure is crazy. Just go play three of them. The lowest edge of running back is only going to give you a 9% negative edge. Like there's no bad plays at running back this week. It's pretty insane. Wide receiver, Tet McMillan, Egbuka, just too cheap. Mike Evans. There you go. We're going to stack Baker. We got to stack
Yep.
Baker. That's what we got to do. Debo. Look at that drive.
All
Oh
right.
yeah. How you
Fair
doing?
enough.
How you doing? Lower edge, Pittman, no surprise. Sutton, Diggs, Devontae, Amon-Ra. It's kind of interesting. There seems to be some chalkier guys here that are showing up, as low edges. And we got some really strong pivots here that look like positive edges. So that's interesting. And then in tight end, wow, go play somebody else other than George Kittle, I guess.
Yo, the George Kittle love is. I'm assuming like that has to be because we're like without Debo, they're just basically giving all of that work to George Kittle.
Basically, yeah.
And then with Jawan Jennings banged up. Okay.
And let me see if there's any big negative edges. Evan Ingram and Laporta, but that's fine.
Right.
And Joku's got some slight edge. And in the flex spot, yeah, McCaffrey, Brown, Achane, Kamara, Dortch, that's funny. Chris Rodriguez, Tyrone Tracy, JT, yeah, player running back. I know we don't give a fuck about defense, but Cleveland, no surprise because they got Cincinnati, Titans because they got Denver. Yeah, that's no surprise. So with that said, Tribe, your final thoughts. What do we want to leave the people with this week?
I think one of the biggest edges for week one is just leveraging the unknowns, right? You're going to have a lot of people who think they know what teams are going to do, who think they know which players are going to be like the guy or, be this thing. And so if you start to see ownership gravitate towards some of those spots, just straight fading, leveraging those spots. If chalk is going towards, Ashton Genty for whatever reason, play a Geno stack. If chalk is going towards Daniel Jones, play Jonathan Taylor. So just really leaning in to that this week because we think we know, but we don't know nothing for week one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I couldn't agree more. When I wrote the breadcrumbs that went out last week, I don't know if anybody knows I'm a little ghostwriter now, but with the breadcrumbs that went out, I always talk. I was thinking about this theme of like being very comfortable and familiar with what you think you know in life and in football and in NFL and in this era of Sims and all these different tools, like everybody's going to be looking for the same things, right? So, how do you be different? And when you are different, how do you capitalize? I think we've identified that there's some really good game environments that you can go all in on. And that's kind of what I think you need to do. Defensive efficiency has gone up over the last few years. Scoring has gone down. Just go try to get that right game environment. And if you lose, you lose. You just got to be comfortable with losing. That's really all it is. Yeah. But with that said, this has been week one of the bakery. We're so excited. We'll be back next week. I'm Jason. This is Tribe, and we'll see you in the Discord.
Peace.
Peace.